Good morning and welcome to the ADS Securities Markets Update. Beginning with the Asian session, as always, there were a few economic releases from New Zealand and Australia which had a notable impact on both Aussie and the Kiwi. And beginning with New Zealand first, the trade balance deficit narrowed less than expected, declining toward 908 million in October, down from 1,367 million in September, while the estimates were to narrow towards 645 million. However, this is the lowest deficit in 2 months. And furthermore, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand noted today that they sold around 1 million in New Zealand dollar in October, comparing to 30 million in New Zealand dollar in September. And as a result, the Kiwi dollar spiked up to as high as 79.20 in the early morning hours. However, the downside review remains as far as the 79.50 remains intact. In Australia, the new home sales increased more than expected, or most, in 2 months, rising by 3% in October, comparing to no change in September. Moreover, the capital private expenditure came in with a positive surprise, rising by 0.2% in the third quarter of this year, comparing to a rise of 1.6% in the second quarter, while it had been anticipated to decline sharply by 1.7%, and this is the second quarterly increase in a row not seen since the last quarter of last year. The Aussie dollar fell toward our first target mentioned in our previous report yesterday toward 89.92, while the next potential target remains at 84.38. As for the European session today, we will be focusing on a collection of economic releases from Germany and Spain, which are likely to have a notable impact on the markets. First of all, in Germany, the CPI is expected to come in unchanged in November, comparing to a decline of 0.3% in October, and the jobs report will be released at around 8:55 GMT time. The unemployment change is expected to decline slightly by 1,000 in November, comparing to another decline of 22,000 in October, which would be the second monthly decline in a row not seen since March of this year. The GfK consumer confidence also in Germany is expected to improve further toward 8.6 in November, up from 8.5 in October. Finally, in Spain, the CPI is expected to post its fifth monthly decline in a row, declining by 0.3% in November, comparing to another decline of 0.1% in October. As for the US session today, there is no economic releases or economic figures will be released from the US or from Canada, and the banks will be closed in observance of the Thanksgiving date. However, looking back to yesterday's figure, the entire data sets came in with disappointing figures. These figures also were for the month of October and November, meaning after the Federal Reserve ended the third round of the QE. The question remains now, will the economy weaken further as the Federal Reserve pull out the entire support? The next few months will answer these questions, and we will be watching it very carefully. Finally, crude oil prices fell below $73 in Asia, to reaching as low as 72.60s, as there is no solid or any signs of a solid deal in OPEC meetings today. The final decision should be released later today, and a failure to cut the production is likely to weigh on the crude oil prices again, and $70 could be seen as the next target in West Texas, and 75 could be seen also in Brent crude in the next few days. This is it for today. You can follow us on our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to get the latest economic releases, reports, and analysis. Thank you for watching.